Hello everyone, welcome to my channel AWS Solutions Hub. In this video, we are going to see Terraform installation because in upcoming videos, I'll be showing you some exercise on Terraform, how we can use Terraform, how we can deploy AWS resources using Terraform. And as a first step, let's start with Terraform installation. I have prepared this presentation which talks about the steps that you need to follow to do the Terraform installation. I'm using MacBook, but there are instructions to install Terraform on Windows or Linux platform if you are using. But in this exercise, I'm going to explain you how to install Terraform on MacBook. Okay, so in this exercise, we will talk about first how to install AWS CLI. There are some steps I have noted it down. After installing the AWS CLI, we will install Homebrew library. Basically, Homebrew is a free open source package manager for MacBook or macOS. Then we will install the Terraform using Brew, and lastly we will do the AWS authentication. This is very important because uh, there are different ways to authenticate in AWS using Terraform, but what is the best approach and what are the different ways, I'll explain you to do the AWS authentication. But this is required to get AWS provider installed and get our resources deployed on AWS. Okay, with this note, let's get started with the actual exercise. Alright guys, so let's start with our first installation, that is AWS CLI. First, let's check in which directory we are. So this is my home directory, users Amol, and in this directory I'm going to do the all the installation. So it can be any home directory for you. So let me just first get the URL to download the AWS CLI package. So this is the URL to download the AWS CLI package. Okay, let's it will download it as the AWS CLI v2.pkg -o option. It is like what is the name of the package and where you want to download it. So we want to download it in the home directory, and this is the name. So let's go with that. Okay, 1 second. Okay, it is asking me to remove the codes. Alright, the AWS CLI package is getting downloaded, so let's check it. So, and you can see it is being downloaded here. Okay, next thing is we have to install this package. So in macOS, so this is the command to install the package. So sudo installer hyphen the package. Okay, where is your package? It's in current folder. Okay, AWS CLI, and what is your target, okay, where you want to install it. So I'll install it on the root directory. Okay, so let's wait. um, Maybe within a minute it should be completed. Okay, as you can see the message, the upgrade was successful. Okay, let's check it where it has installed. So it has by default in macOS, it gets installed to user local root directory. Okay, and where it is installed. So I'll check the installation is successful or not using this command AWS version. Let's see what it gives us. Okay, it has successfully written the AWS CLI version. If you face any issues in getting the response for AWS version, maybe your installation is successful but it has not successfully added to your uh, uh, root directory. So maybe you can check dollar path, and you can you know once have a look at your directory, what all directories are mentioned. For example, in my case, you can see it is already on user local bin is already here. So you should mention a directory which is in dollar path where you have installed the AWS. Even if you choose any other directory, make sure you add that directory here. Okay, so that macOS can understand where AWS is installed. So our AWS installation is successful. First step is done. So let's go for the second step where we want to install Homebrew. Homebrew is a free, as I said, like it's a free open source package manager for macOS. So if you want to install any softwares on macOS, Homebrew is the Homebrew uh, is the package manager that we need. Just like in Linux, I guess it is apt get. You have a command to get any packages installed, or you do uh, yum update or yum install in Linux. That is again another package manager in Linux. Similar to that, we have Homebrew in uh, macOS. Okay, so give me just 1 second. I'm opening the command. Okay, so this is the command. Okay, basically it is going to download this it is going to download the install.sh, and all the instructions to install the Homebrew are inside this install.sh. So let's see. Yes, we want to continue and install. Just one moment, just let me have a look at it once what all it is installing. Okay, yeah, that was good. So again, let's wait for some time where it is downloading and installing Homebrew. It should not take much time. Okay, you can see the message here, installation successful. So our Homebrew is also installed. So if I try brew command, it should not throw any error, or if it is, then we need to maybe close and open the terminal again. So let's do that. Okay, this saying brew not found. Okay, the reason I'm not getting still okay, when I type brew it says command not found. The reason may be while installing the Homebrew, it has been installed into opt directory. If you see under /opt there is Homebrew, but if you look at the $path variable, the opt/opts is not part of the environment path variable. Okay, so I need to export this opt Homebrew uh, under under opt homebrew there will be a bin folder also, I believe. Yes, there is bin. So we need to add this path uh, to the main $path variable. How we can do that? There is one export command. Okay, so we'll do the exactly we have to do this. So export path, we are going to append it. So colon $path is going to append. I mean, if you do not add this line colon $path, then it will overwrite everything with slash opt homebrew. So make sure you have path equal your homebrew home directory path colon $path, so that it can append it. Okay, now if we say dollar echo path, we should have opt homebrew being also added. Okay, now that's being done. Let's see what happens. Okay, now brew command is working. So even if the command I was trying before brew help, it should work. Okay, with that our homebrew installation is also done. Okay, now next is installing Terraform. Okay, there is something called tab, okay, in homebrew basically. So what tab does is it takes or it goes to the git repository. It downloads the required packages from that git repository into your local system. Okay, the local homebrew command, installation of homebrew command may not download everything uh, or all packages required for Terraform. So we are going to make use of tab in homebrew to download the content or packages from the git repository. Okay, so how we can do that? There is a command called brew tab. First you need to get hashicop tab. Okay, so what this will do is it will download. Basically this allows brew to add specific git repository to your user system. By default brew may or may not download all required software packages. Hence it is good practice to go with tab. Okay, so it will download the repository for hashicop. You can see here. Okay, it says repository not found. Git clone hashicop. Okay, let me check on this. These installation instructions are there on the Terraform homepage. Okay, so let's directly refer it from the Terraform official page. Why it is giving us an error? So first install the hashicop tab, a repository of all our homebrew packages. We are using the same command. Okay, let's try one more time. Okay, I don't know what was the error, but it is working this time. Oh, okay, it was a spell mistake. I read it hashicop, not hashicop. Sorry about that. So it has downloaded the repository packages for Terraform. Now next thing is we have to do brew install. Since we already have, okay, hashicop git repository downloaded, and from that we have to get the Terraform. Brew install hashicop tab Terraform. Yeah, let me check the spell mistake again, but that looks fine. I always make a mistake of writing Terraform as Terraform. So even if you are installing, make sure the spellings are correct. So it is Terraform. Okay, so you can see, okay, the repository that it is getting, okay, HashiCorp release.com Terraform. So and you can see here opt homebrew, installing Terraform from the HashiCorp tab. Okay, that's what we wanted initially also. Let me try one more time. Okay, there was not clear message that it has been installed, but looks like it is installed. Okay, since when I running the command again, it is saying it is already installed. Okay, so Terraform is installed. Maybe let me check with this command. Okay, yeah, it is installed. So Terraform 1.10.4 is the version it has downloaded and installed. But if we see there is updated version, we can do brief update and it will take the latest Terraform installation. It is already up to date. Okay, down the line, if you see there is new version of Terraform is available and you want to get the new version of Terraform, there is a command called brew upgrade. Okay, HashiCorp tab Terraform. So it is saying upgrade. Okay, brief upgrade HashiCorp tab Terraform. So it will go and take the latest version of it. Since we have already installed the latest version of it, so it is not going to upgrade anything. Okay, with that we have installed Terraform also. So we have installed AWS CLI, we installed Brew, and we installed Terraform. Now the next main thing is to get the AWS authentication. Okay, AWS authentication. So because we want to deploy our resources to our AWS account. In my case, okay, I have already logged into my AWS account. So this is my AWS account, and when I run Terraform commands, the resources should get deployed here. So we have to do that setting. Okay. Okay, let me show you guys also. I mean, today I don't have any user created. So far I was using the root account. That's not the right practice. You should have a user with dedicated permissions. And what we will do is we will create one user. Okay, we will give him programmatic and console access, and we will use the same user. And using that user, we will log into that user session. Also we will use the same user for the Terraform. Okay, so let me show you how we can do that. I mean, if you are also doing it for the first time. Okay, so I'm going to give him the admin privileges. Okay, so I'm naming this username as admin. Provide user access to the AWS management console. Yes. Okay, are you providing console access to a person? Specify user in identity center. I want to create I am user. Okay, uh, so you want to have an auto generated password. Okay, uh, yeah, as it is saying, you can view the password after you create the user, or you can create the custom password. Okay, in my case I will use a custom password. Okay, then user must create a new password at next sign in. No, because this is my final password, so I'm going to use the same. But if you set any default password and you want user to create a new password, then you can select this. So whenever the user logs in, he has to first change his password, then use it. Okay, but in my case that's the my password. So let's go next. Permissions. Okay, there are no groups. I mean, I don't have created any groups. Okay, and maybe I'll do the attach policies. Okay, I'm giving him administrative access. Let's go next. I'll, as always, I always use this tag so that it is significant for me to identify the resources that I create for the YouTube purposes. Okay, so purpose is YouTube, and let's create user. Let's see. Okay, I've got URL, username and password. Okay, let me copy the URL and I will paste the URL here so that I can refer it. I know username and password. Okay, then let's log out from here. Okay, now we have a URL to log in. Okay, so we will use that URL instead of the default AWS console login. Now we have a user specific URL. Okay, username is admin and password I have already stored in my macOS password library, so I'll use that and sign in. Okay, so we are using the user session admin. You can see it here. Okay, now what we want to do, we have to create the um, access key and secret key for this user so that we can use it in the AWS authentication. Okay, so we'll go here, admin, security credential. Okay, and here you can see create access key. Okay, uh, use case. Okay, command line interface. I mean, there are different use cases they have given, but in my case I want to log into CLI. Next, so set some relevant description. Okay, then create access key. I'll pause video here. Okay, and I'll copy my uh, secret access key and I'll resume back again. Okay, I'm back again, so I will show you how to do the AWS configure. We need these. Okay, uh, okay, I mean, there are different use cases. Let me explain you that way. Okay, there are different use cases how you want to authenticate, uh, how you want to authenticate into AWS using Terraform. Okay, so I'm doing the one of the ways. Okay, where I will do the AWS configure. By doing the AWS configure, it will create config and credential file, and I will refer those config and credential file into my Terraform. Okay, so how we can do that? AWS configure. Okay, it will ask me the access key ID and the secret key. Okay, so I have done the AWS configure. Basically, it asks you three parameters. One is access key, which you already have. Then it asks you the secret access key. Okay, that also you have, and then it asks for the region. Okay, so if you do not provide any region, by default region is US East 1, that is North Virginia. Okay, but if your resources are deployed, you want to deploy your resources into Ireland region. Okay, then you need to specifically mention EU West 1. But if you just press enter without providing any region, then it takes US East 1 as the default region. Okay, now AWS configure is done. Okay, uh, ideally it should be stored under your home directory. Okay, maybe I do this. Okay, yes, So since it is hidden folder, so I have to use ls-la. When you append a, then it shows the hidden files, and you can see AWS here. So .aws, it has credential and config. Okay, so config will have the region related details, but the credential has the profile and access key and secret key. Okay, all right. Okay, so our AWS uh, config installation and configuration is done. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to refer this credential files and config files in our Terraform. Okay, so let me show it so that we can get authenticated into our AWS account. Okay, now we have a workspace also here. Let's do one thing. Let's create one file called main.tf. I'll explain you the extensions and um, uh, what all things we will be doing as a part of Terraform. Okay, but we want to test if we can get authenticated into AWS or not. Okay, that is what we want to test. So we will use I'll explain you which authentication method I'm using. Okay, Terraform AWS provider authentication, everything is available on Terraform homepage. So as I said, like there are, okay, maybe let me explain you the different authentication methods that are available. Okay, these are the different 7 authentication methods are available if you want to get authenticated into AWS using Terraform. Okay, this one, parameters in provider configuration. This is the least secured way of getting authenticated into AWS, because it asks you to configure access key and secret key directly into provider file, the file that we are creating. And the risk here is if you commit this file into Git repository or public repository, then you are exposing your secret credentials to the open world. So definitely this is not something we want to do. This is the one we will be uh, using to do that, but before that let me explain the other ways. So environment variable. Okay, environment variable is the another way where you can expose your access key and secret key. So you can export secret key, access key, and the region. Okay, this is a little bit secure to the first way, but still this is not the ideal way to do that. Do the AWS authentication. This one is little bit better approach of shared config credential file and configuration file, and this is what something we are going to do in our provider. We are going to give a reference of AWS config and credential file that we created as a part of AWS configure command. Okay, if you do not provide the profile here, it is going to take the always the default profile. Okay, then there are like container credential and instance profile. Container credential is like if you have installed Terraform on the Docker or any containers, then you can use this method of credential. Or if you have Terraform installed on the EC2 server, okay, you created one EC2 server and you install the Terraform on the EC2, then you can create one IAM role. Just like in previous many exercises we have done, like creating IAM role and attaching it to an EC2 instance. Similar way, you can create one role, you can give that role the permissions that we want. For example, creating EC2 S3, okay, whatever the resources you want to create, and attach that role to that EC2. Okay, and then that's it. I mean, you don't need to really do anything apart from that, and this is the most secured way of doing the AWS authentication. But since we are not using EC2 for Terraform installation, or our Terraform is installed locally, so we are going to use this way of mechanism, shared credential file and configuration file. Okay, So this is what we are going to do. Okay, what does provider means and why we are saying it is provider AWS? Okay, let's do one thing. Let's get an extension for Terraform. Okay. Provider means which provider you are going to use to deploy. It can be Docker, it can be Azure, it can be GCP, but basically when you say a provider, it downloads all the required packages that you need to deploy your resources into AWS. Okay, if you have mentioned here Azure, it will download all the Azure related packages so that we can install the resources on Azure. Okay, so we have copied the file. Okay, provider AWS shared config file. Where is our config file? That is, we have to refer it here. So it is in our home directory. So I'll just mention this. Okay, and similarly, we have credential file on our home directory. You can store it anywhere. Okay, this is, I believe, config. Let's check it one more time. It says config and credentials. Okay, these are the two files, config and credentials. So it says config and it says credentials. Okay, this is default. I mean, I even don't need to write default. If I completely skip it, it will take the default file anyways. And I believe that's it. You don't need to, I mean, if you are using region uh, apart from the default one, you can mention that. Otherwise, no need to mention it. I don't think region anyways you need to mention in provider. That's not the mandatory. Yes, sorry about that. So you don't need to mention region anyways. But some in some of the configurations you might need to. But so if you don't mention it, it will take US East one. But if you are using any apart from US East one, you have to mention it. But in this case, there is no need to mention the region. Okay, so I'll explain you a little bit still. Okay, since we are starting, I don't want to confuse you. Do not concentrate much on the syntax and details, which I'll explain you in our throughout Terraform exercises that I'll upload after this. But any you have to mention the .tf extension to the Terraform files. Okay, this name can be anything. I have written it as main, but this can be any name. .tf provider, as I said, like you, what provider you want to work with. So we want to work with AWS. Okay, and then the configuration files, right? So our AWS is configured. So what we will do is, okay, so what you have to do is you have to go to that folder where your Terraform workspace resides. In my case, okay, it's under Terraform crash course. Okay, so I will do Terraform. Okay, I'm under Terraform crash course. Then I have workspace folder. Okay, Terraform workspace, cd Terraform workspace. Okay, and if I see, I should have main.tf here. Okay, now let's run our first command of Terraform init. Okay, that's the first command you should run, Terraform init. If this command, what this command is going to do, this is going to download all required packages for the AWS provider, and that you will see when I run the command. Okay, and if this command is successful, uh, it means our AWS authentication is also successful. You can see here, okay, finding the latest version of AWS, which is 5.83.1. Even you can mention the version, okay, which version you want to download. Okay, excellent. Okay, Terraform has been successfully initialized here. Okay, on Terraform homepage, if you write the EC2, you will see all the information that you need to install the EC2 server. So it is AWS instance, okay, that we want to install. Okay, it is this. Sorry, I by mistake read as AWS EC2, but it is AWS instance web. Let's do Terraform plan. Okay, so Terraform plan is the command that will not install your AWS resources, but it will give you an overview what it is going to install. Okay, as always, I'll I did write like Terraform, not form. Okay, Terraform plan. It should tell me. Okay, it is saying missing required. Okay, AMI is. I thought AMI was the default parameter, but since it is not, I was under the impression if we do not mention the AMI, it will take the latest code. When you launch an instance, there is an option to go for the AMIs. So I'll do Linux retire. Okay, and this is the ID I need. Okay, Linux, or you can go for Linux 2, whichever is fine. And let's go back here. Let's do AMI equal ID. Let's little bit align it. Now let's do the Terraform plan. Okay, you can see one to add. What does this mean? You are going to add one EC2 instance to your AWS account, and this is the AMI. See, we haven't mentioned anything else. Okay, this will be you can add as many configurations as you want while you are installing EC2, but we have mentioned the least mandatory ones. Okay, but don't worry, in upcoming exercise we will try to explore Terraform as much as possible. I'm just giving you a very brief overview how Terraform works. Okay, now once the Terraform apply is done, you have to do this Terraform plan is done. Okay, now you will do the Terraform apply. The apply is the command which will actually install your EC2. Okay, so we will see it in action. So I have done the Terraform apply. Do you want to perform these actions? Okay, yes. So basically it is taking a confirmation from you that you want to deploy this resource. Let's say yes. Okay, so it is saying creating. Okay, it is saying environment the architecture, instance type and AMI that have matching architecture, and try again. You can use. Okay, it seems the AMI configuration and the instance type we are using, they are not matching. Okay, let's try it. Let's try this one. Okay, let's clear the screen and try. Always go for the Terraform plan first. Okay, whenever you are doing the changes, so it gives you an idea that the whatever the changes you have made in your code are reflected here. So new AMI ID has been taken. Let's do Terraform apply. Let's see if it works. Yes, we want to deploy it. Okay, it is working now. We selected the wrong configuration of EC2 instance and AMI, but eventually you will see there is one instance running. Okay, and yeah, it says hello world. This is the instance ID. and it says it has been created. Instance ID is matching ending with 06C 06C. Okay, now the instance is created. I don't want to unnecessarily keep on running it, so I will do terraform destroy. Terraform destroy will do the destruction, deletion of that resource. So let's do terraform e1. If you directly terraform destroy will directly do the resources deletion. Okay, but there is one, I believe, command terraform plan hyphen destroy. Okay, so it will tell you okay what it is going to destroy, and it is saying okay it will destroy one to destroy what it is going to destroy. It is destroying this instance. There should be instance ID, this instance. Okay, these arrows and null, don't concentrate on that. We will talk about it later. So since I know what it is going to destroy, I will do the terraform destroy, and it will okay, there is a spell mistake. Yes, and you should see the destruction will commence here very soon. Yes, it is asking for the permission. The moment you say see, it has, since it was still initializing, it has straight away remove that instance. Okay, it should be here shutting down. All right, so that's it from this video, guys. I hope you have understood uh, how we install Terraform, AWS CLI. If you're working on macOS, how to install Brew. um, then we tried some Terraform commands to install the resources, how AWS authentication can be made. Okay, this is just the kind of an more focused on the installation video, but don't worry, in the upcoming videos I'll explain you in detailed Terraform working, and each and everything that I know from Terraform. I'll try my best to explain everything in Terraform. Okay, so that's it from this video. Please like, share, subscribe to my channel, and thank you for showing the support. I have completed the first milestone of 100 subscribers, so thanks for all your love, support. So thank you then, and I'll see you in the next video.